that you could join us today as we have a very exciting announcement from Palouse Conservation District. We are embarking on a fantastic new venture called Citizen Science. Now, citizen science is defined by National Geographic as the practice of public participation and collaboration in scientific research to increase scientific knowledge. So essentially, citizen science is a method of scientific information gathering that empowers members of the community to make the step from casual observer of their world to active participant in the world of their neighborhoods and the world at large. It's an acknowledgement that non-experts have the potential to make very significant contributions to the ways in which we scientifically understand the world around us. And there are actually some projects that are either entirely driven or almost entirely driven by citizen science efforts.
Yeah, one of those projects that Carly's mentioning is a project in Isle Royale looking at predator and prey interactions. That's mostly led by volunteer efforts. Now, you don't have to take a journey all across the nation to participate in citizen science. When PCD is offering you the opportunity to engage in citizen science here in your local community. At Palouse Conservation District, we are so grateful to be aided by volunteers in our cleanup and restoration efforts. This citizen science project now allows community members to be engaged in Palouse Conservation District's work on their own schedule. So, now let's go over what makes citizen science so important and how you can get involved.
Citizen science programs have been around for a while, but they've been significantly expanding since smartphones have been able to support increasingly sophisticated apps. New programs are also popping up like daisies to meet the opportunity created by the fact that so many people are walking around now with high-quality cameras and data collection tools in their pocket.
The concept of citizen science has grown from the realization by scientific institutions that people live and recreate in or near areas of interest for scientists, so they have more widespread access to these areas than most professional scientists. Non-experts, who are curious about the world around them, are also much more plentiful in the world than professional researchers, so citizen science makes possible a much larger pool of boots on the ground, so to speak. Data generated from citizen science programs are therefore more diverse in space and time, allowing researchers to inform more robust and comprehensive studies.
They're also beneficial for researchers who don't have a whole lot of funding and may not be able to hire large teams of technicians to generate extensive data sets themselves. So, it's obviously great to be a researcher and have some citizen scientists on your side. But what's so great about actually being a citizen scientist?
Well, that depends on what you're interested in and what kind of program you want to join. Some people spend their entire lives in one place but have trouble finding opportunities to connect to the history, ecology, or geography of the place they call home. For example, have you ever been involved in a local stream cleanup? Maybe even one hosted by PCD, and felt accomplished but still wondered exactly what kind of impact you made? Joining a water quality monitoring project may be a good way for you to learn more about how water pollution affects the health and biodiversity of fish and insect populations. Some people are driven by specific concerns and seek projects that address the question of how to engage with those concerns.
For example, if I were bothered by European starlings destroying the nests of native birds, which I am, I might be motivated to join the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's Project Nest Watch. It would give me the tools and the know-how to track the success of native birds throughout their entire life cycles in the nest, such as this one. Now, many people become involved in citizen science because they feel that it enhances or satisfies their sense of belonging and collectiveness. They enjoy knowing that the data that they produce are coming together with the data of many people in order to inform a big picture narrative. If you've ever been involved in citizen science in the past, you may have even felt like your participation was a kind of activism, in that your actions were helping to play a part in answering a question that's very important to everyone. After all, science is the practice of using real-world evidence to, in part, inform how the world responds to our actions, both as societies and individuals.
It helps us understand how we play a part in shaping the world around us that we share with every human and non-human life form. Many educators also suggest that participating in citizen science can help develop critical thinking skills. These critical thinking skills develop our capacity to solve difficult problems. If you feel like science has an important role in informing real-world decisions, then you'll enjoy participating in citizen science. What unites every citizen scientist is that they are interested and open. We encourage that you give it a try.
So we should mention here that in this instance, the word citizen only refers to a member of a community, any kind of community, who wishes to put science to work in service of their community, and doesn't necessarily have to be an academically or professionally trained scientist. In fact, the Xerces Society, which is the global leader of invertebrate conservation, actually refers to what we call citizen science as community science. The point is that it doesn't require that you actually be a legal citizen of any particular country. All it takes is some curiosity and a little bit of training.
Citizen science isn't just serving your community, it is a community. No one expects you to know all the answers or to make up your own rules. So look for programs that offer training and provide detailed instructions on how to participate in their program. A lot of programs will also give you detailed background information on what the project is and what you're looking at. Different programs will offer different types of trainings, and you might see a lot more online trainings nowadays. But there's still opportunities to get the on-the-ground trainings that allow you to understand what the type of work you will be doing. Let's take a look at some of the training that you might be expected to undergo as you participate in citizen science.
Citizen science projects are all designed with a focus area or a question. Some are broader than others, and some may be limited to a small geographic region, while others are international in scope. Some projects aim to provide data for one specific study, while others may store data in databases that are accessible to any member of the public for any purpose. Projects also vary according to timeline, and while some allow participants to conduct tasks on their own time, others require supervision by a professional scientist or elected citizen scientist. What all programs have in common is that they require a certain degree of scientific integrity. That means that the data should be gathered in a manner that is consistent and unbiased as possible.
For example, if my task was to determine the species composition of macroinvertebrates in a certain part of the stream, then it probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me to pick out my favorite macroinvertebrate and only record results about that one. Hey, before you go, we'd like to point out how citizen science is actually making a difference in our backyards and beyond. Some of the most convincing data regarding the migration patterns and ecological relationships of plants and animals are being generated by citizen scientists, and researchers are using these data to determine how climate change affects certain patterns and characteristics in nature. The Audubon Society is the country's first bird advocacy and conservation organization, and it manages the Christmas bird count in over 2,000 survey plots each year. Observations made by thousands of citizen scientists are used by researchers to determine, for example, which species are adapting well to urban environments and which are not, or which species are declining in response to the loss of certain habitat types. The western monarch milkweed mapper has been cited in scientific studies that draw conclusions about the very specific habitat requirements of monarch butterflies at each stage of their life cycle. Citizen science efforts are responsible for the data sets that made these studies possible.
We've posted a few links here to get you started on looking for citizen science opportunities that may interest you. Stick around for our next video as we present our very own project that involves bees, birds, and wildflowers.